All right, let's dive into The Simple Path to Wealth, this book by J.L. Collins, also known as Mr. Money Mustache. It's a classic, and for good reason. It really cuts through all the financial jargon and gives you like a clear path, a roadmap to reaching financial freedom.
Yeah.
And we're going to be focusing on the actionable steps, the mindset shifts that can really make a difference in your journey. And we're going to unpack some really interesting concepts like FU money, the impact of debt, how that kills your wealth, and the magic behind index funds.
And we'll go beyond just, defining these terms and really trying to figure out how they apply to you, your goals, your specific situation. You can think of it as a personalized guide to understand and applying these principles.
Exactly, exactly. Let's start with FU money, and not just as a concept, but like a feeling. Imagine having the financial security to just walk away from a job that makes you miserable, or pursue that dream project you've always wanted to do, but just been putting off.
Yeah, it's about having the freedom to make choices that align with your values, not dictated by necessity.
Yeah.
Collins tells this great story about wanting to take a 4-month unpaid leave early in his career to travel Europe, and his boss said no. So he saved up $5,000, which is his FU money at the time, and he quit and traveled anyway.
That's an awesome example of putting it into action, right? I mean, it makes you realize that financial freedom isn't about, being a millionaire. It's about having enough to make choices that really matter to you. It reminds me of when I was stuck in this dead end job.
Hmm.
If I had known about this concept back then, who knows what adventures I could have gone on, right?
Huh.
But there's a flip side to this, right? To reach that level of freedom, we need to tackle something that holds a lot of people back, and that's debt.
Absolutely. Debt is a major obstacle on the path to financial independence.
Mm.
Collins is very clear about this. He calls it the ultimate wealth killer. And you can think of it this way. Every dollar you're paying in interest on credit card debt or loans is a dollar that could be invested and growing for your future.
It's like you're working for your debt instead of
Yeah.
instead of for your dreams. He uses the example of financing a $20,000 car over 10 years. Due to interest and those lost investment opportunities, that car could actually end up costing you $36,000. So that's an extra $16,000 that could be working for you.
Yeah, and it's not just about the numbers either. Debt creates this psychological and emotional burden that can feel like an addiction. It can trap you in this cycle of payments, limit your options, and prevent you from pursuing the things that truly matter.
So how do we break free from this cycle? Collins advocates for shifting your mindset from consumer to investor.
Yeah.
It's about viewing money as a tool to build wealth, not just something to spend. This really resonated with me because I used to be trapped in that consumer mindset, but once I started prioritizing saving and investing, I felt this sense of control and empowerment over my finances.
And that's a crucial step. Making conscious choices about where your money's going and making sure it's working for you. So where do we start? Collins suggests, start by prioritizing high interest debt, create a budget and stay disciplined. These are simple but powerful steps that can make a significant difference over time.
So we've built up our FU money and we've tackled that pesky debt. What's next on our path to financial independence? Now comes the exciting part, right? Investing. A lot of people, they get intimidated by the stock market,
Yeah.
but Collins breaks it down in a way that makes it, feel accessible, understandable.
Yeah, he debunks a lot of the common misconceptions. Like for example, people fear market crashes, but he encourages us to see them as buying opportunities.
That's a perspective shift, right? So instead of panicking, when the market dips, we should see it as a chance to buy stocks, at a discount. But
Right.
but how do we even know what to buy? Collins is a huge advocate of index funds, particularly Vanguard's total stock market index fund. BTSAX, I think it's called.
Yeah, index funds. Index funds are like baskets of stocks that track the performance of the entire market, and this eliminates the need for picking individual stocks. which can be time consuming and risky, especially for those of us who aren't financial experts.
It's like taking a shortcut to diversification, right? So instead of trying to pick individual winners, you're basically betting on the overall growth of the market. And Collins presents, some pretty compelling evidence to support this approach. He cites statistics showing that index funds consistently outperform actively managed funds, over the long term.
Yeah, it's a powerful argument for simplicity, letting the market do its thing. I think his beer analogy is particularly helpful here. He compares the stock market to a mug of beer, where the beer represents the underlying value of the companies you're investing in, and the foam represents the market's short-term volatility.
So even though the foam, might fluctuate and seem kind of chaotic at times, it's the beer, that underlying value that really matters in the long run. That really helps to visualize, I think, why we shouldn't get caught up in the daily ups and downs of the market.
Exactly. It's about staying focused on that long-term growth potential. And to put this into practice, Collins introduces two portfolio strategies.
Yeah.
A wealth accumulation portfolio and a wealth preservation portfolio. The wealth accumulation portfolio, designed for aggressive growth. That consists of 100% VTSAX. And for those seeking a smoother ride, perhaps as they transition closer to retirement, the wealth preservation portfolio. That's made up of 75% VTSAX, 20% bonds, which is VBTLX, and 5% cash.
It's fascinating how he provides like concrete strategies, to match different risk tolerances and financial goals. And speaking of strategies, let's talk about a key element of wealth building, and that's tax advantaged accounts.
Yes, these are essential tools for minimizing your tax burden and maximizing those investment returns. Collins provides a breakdown of the various types of tax-advantaged accounts available in the U.S., including 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, traditional IRAs, and Roth IRAs.
Mm. That's a lot of acronyms. It can feel, overwhelming trying to navigate all these different options. Can you break it down for us, in a way that makes sense for someone like me who's not a tax expert?
Of course. So let's start with the basics. With traditional 401ks, 403bs, and TSPs, your contributions are tax deductible, meaning you don't pay taxes on that money up front,
Yeah.
but you will owe taxes when you withdraw the funds in retirement.
So it's like delaying the tax bill,
Ooh,
which could be beneficial if you expect to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement.
precisely. And then you have Roth 401ks, which aren't as common, but they offer a different advantage. With these, your contributions aren't tax deductible, but all earnings on your investments are tax free.
Yeah.
And withdrawals after age 59 and a half are also tax free.
So it's like choosing between a tax break now or tax-free withdrawals later. What factors should we consider when deciding which type of account is right for us?
That's where understanding your current income and your projected retirement income becomes crucial. So for example, if you're currently in a high tax bracket and you anticipate being in a lower bracket in retirement, traditional 401k might be advantageous, but if you expect your income to stay relatively high or even increase in retirement, hey, a Roth 401k could be a better choice.
That makes sense. Now what about IRAs? They seem to offer similar benefits to 401ks, but with more flexibility.
Exactly. Traditional IRAs function similarly to traditional 401ks with tax-deductible contributions and taxes due upon withdrawal. Roth IRAs, on the other hand, offer tax-free withdrawals in retirement.
Yeah.
But your contributions aren't tax-deductible up front.
So it seems like there's a lot of different strategies we can use, depending on our individual circumstances and goals, right?
And Collins stresses the importance of maximizing contributions to these accounts to reduce that tax burden and accelerate your wealth growth. This really highlights the power of compound interest over time. Imagine if you were to max out your 401k contributions each year. The tax savings alone could be significant, and that money invested and growing over decades could make a huge difference in your financial future.
That's a powerful visual, right? It reminds me of that quote: the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. We don't have to wait to be wealthy to start taking advantage of these strategies.
Absolutely, and while we're thinking about the long term, let's not forget about those ugly surprises Collins mentions. RMDs, required Minimum distributions. These can have a significant impact on your tax situation in retirement.
R&Ds, they seem like a bit of a curveball. Can you explain, what they are and how they might affect us?
Essentially, once you reach age 70 and a half, you're required to start taking distributions from your traditional IRAs and 401ks, and those distributions are taxed as income.
So even though we're deferring taxes, we can't avoid them forever. That's a little disappointing.
It's true, but there are strategies to minimize the impact of RMDs. Collins suggests careful planning and potentially converting some funds to a Roth IRA, where RMDs don't apply.
That's reassuring. Knowing those strategies exist makes me feel, more in control of my financial future.
Exactly. And speaking of feeling in control, one of the most inspiring aspects of the simple path to wealth is the emphasis on real life examples.
Yeah.
Collins shares stories of people who have achieved financial independence through these very principles,
Yeah.
proving that it's not just a pipe dream, it's a tangible possibility.
I love the story of Mark buying a pineapple plantation in Tahiti with no farming experience. Talk about taking a leap of faith.
It's a fantastic example of how financial freedom empowers you to pursue your passions and
Yeah.
and take calculated risks. The fact that they ended up owning a successful hotel,
Hmm.
speaks to their adaptability, resilience,
Uh,
qualities we can all cultivate on our own journeys.
and it's not just about, exotic adventures, right? He also shares the story of a couple who use their online business and rental income to fund a 4-month sailing trip, through the South Seas. It's inspiring to see how people are using financial independence to create lives filled with adventure and purpose.
Absolutely, and I think these stories are crucial because they make the concept of financial independence feel real, feel attainable.
Yeah.
It's not just about abstract numbers and
Yeah.
spreadsheets. It's about the experiences and opportunities that those numbers unlock.
So we've learned about the importance of FU money, tackling debt, investing wisely, and maximizing tax advantages. What else can we learn from Colin's wisdom, to ensure we're on the right path?
Yeah, it's amazing how those real life examples really drive home the point that financial independence is achievable. It's not just a theory. It's something people are doing every day. But there are some myths and misconceptions out there that can hold us back.
Yeah, Collins tackles some of those head on. For instance, he addresses the belief that only the wealthy can achieve financial independence. He argues that anyone, regardless of their income level, can achieve this goal with the right mindset and strategies. And it reminds me of a time when I felt like I wasn't earning enough to even think about investing. But then I realized that even small contributions made consistently could make a big difference over time. That's such an important point. It's not about how much you earn. It's about what you do with what you earn. Another myth he debunks is the idea that dollar cost averaging, or DCA, is the best investment strategy. He actually argues that lump sum investing, when done strategically, can be more effective in the long run.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. The DCA approach feels safer,
Yeah.
spreading out your investments over time. But Collins points out that if you have a lump sum to invest, getting it into the market sooner,
Yeah.
then can potentially lead to greater returns. This makes me think of that saying, time in the market beats timing the market.
It's about trusting that long term upward trend of the market, and not getting bogged down in trying to predict short-term fluctuations. And I think this ties into another crucial point he makes, and that's the dangers of relying solely on financial advisors.
Yes, Collins exposes the potential conflicts of interest and the often often underwhelming performance of many actively managed funds. It's a reminder that we need to be informed and proactive about our financial decisions, not just hand over the reins to someone else.
It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge, and making choices that align with our best interests. After all, it's our future at stake. He really encourages us to become, discerning consumers of financial information, and not be afraid to question, assumptions. I used to feel intimidated by all the jargon, all the complexity of the financial world, but reading The Simple Path to Wealth gave me the confidence to start asking questions and educating myself.
That's a fantastic takeaway. It's about realizing that investing doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, Collins argues that simplicity is key.
And he puts that into practice with his straightforward index fund approach. It's refreshing to hear a financial expert advocating for simplicity,
Yeah.
and accessibility rather than convoluted schemes and products. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what happens when we reach that milestone of financial independence, right? How do we actually start tapping into that wealth, in retirement?
Yeah, that's where all our hard work and planning pays off.
Hmm.
Collins provides a framework for navigating this stage,
Right.
emphasizing simplicity and flexibility.
Right.
He walks us through the process of structuring our portfolios for retirement withdrawals, focusing on tax diversification.
So it's about strategically allocating our assets across different account types to minimize our tax burden and maximize our after tax income in retirement.
Exactly. He even shares how he and his wife manage their own retirement withdrawals,
Right.
prioritizing taxable accounts first, then traditional IRAs, and finally Roth IRAs,
Yeah.
taking advantage of the tax-free nature of Roth withdrawals.
It's a great example of how these strategies can be put into practice
Yeah.
in a real world setting. But let's not forget about a key source of retirement income for many people, and that's Social Security.
Yeah, Collins tackles this topic head on, encouraging readers to consider their individual circumstances when deciding when to start receiving benefits. There's no one size fits all answer. It's about finding what works best for you.
He also debunks the myth that Social Security is doomed, arguing that it will likely remain a viable source of retirement income for generations to come. It's reassuring to hear a balanced perspective, on this often debated topic.
Yeah, it's about understanding the system's challenges
Yeah.
while recognizing its enduring value. And Collins reminds us that Social Security is just one piece of a comprehensive retirement plan.
Yeah.
It's about integrating those guaranteed payments with our investment income and other potential income sources.
And it's about approaching retirement with flexibility and adaptability. Life throws curveballs, and our financial plans need to be able to adjust to those changes. But financial independence isn't just about personal security and comfort. It's also about having the freedom to give back and make a difference in the world.
Yeah, that's where Collins' chapter on charitable giving comes in. He provides a practical guide on how to approach philanthropy strategically, and shares heartwarming stories about the impact even small acts of giving can have.
I love the story about how he and his wife donated a gourmet dinner to their daughter's Catholic school teachers,
Yeah.
sparking this chain of generosity and creating a memorable evening for everyone involved. It's a reminder that giving back doesn't have to be complicated or require vast wealth. It's about finding ways to share our abundance and make a positive difference in the lives of others.
Absolutely, and Collins goes beyond the feel good aspect
Yeah.
of giving, delving into the tax benefits of charitable donations,
Yeah.
and discussing the option of establishing a charitable foundation.
It's inspiring to see how financial independence can be a catalyst for positive change, both in our own lives and in the world around us. As we wrap up, our deep dive into The Simple Path to Wealth, I think it's clear that this book offers much more than just financial advice. It's a guide to creating a life of freedom, purpose and fulfillment.
It's about using money as a tool to achieve our goals, not
Yeah.
not letting it become the master. And it's about recognizing that true wealth encompasses, so much more than just our net worth.
Hmm.
It's about the experiences we create, the relationships we nurture,
Hmm.
and the impact we have on the world.
So for you listening, I wanna leave you with this thought. Imagine, imagine having the financial freedom to spend your time pursuing your passions,
Yeah.
traveling the world or simply doing whatever brings you joy without worrying about money. What would you do with that freedom? That's the power of financial independence. It's not just about the money, it's about the life it enables.
And that's a journey worth embarking on.